Welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is going to be a very special video. It's typically not the kind of topic I cover on this channel. I very often talk about cybersecurity, AI, tech, all that good stuff. But I want to talk about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And believe it or not, there is actually a connection to cybersecurity. Later on in the video, I will give you my own personal thoughts about Charlie Kirk and what I think about his assassination. But before then, what exactly is the connection to cybersecurity? If you didn't know, there have been hundreds, potentially even thousands of people who have lost their jobs as a result of his death. Why did they lose their jobs? They lost their jobs because they thought it would be a good idea to record themselves, to make videos making fun of his death and then posting them online. Now, what is the cybersecurity connection here? See, in cybersecurity, there is a technique that we call identity compartmentalization. It's basically where you try to create different profiles on the internet and make sure that they are not linked in any way. So you can have your own personal account. You can have your own professional account that will be for your work, your business, your company, things like that. And the idea here is that should in case one of those accounts gets hacked, the hackers will not be able to gain access to your other accounts because they are not linked. Now, these people getting fired, they were dumb enough to use their own personal accounts with their real name, their real profile picture, and even some of them had additional information such as their house address, their phone numbers, their emails that the public could gain easy access to. And therefore, it was so easy to identify the companies they worked for. People called up those companies and the companies ended up firing them. The most amusing thing is that many of them actually got surprised when they got fired. Listen, when you work for a company, when you work for a business, you are a representative of that company. So when you say certain kinds of things online, other people may want to associate the company that you work for with your comments. And if your company doesn't feel the same way about an issue that you do, they will have no choice but to fire you. Just because you have freedom of speech does not mean that you are immune to the potential consequences. So going back to the whole cybersecurity identity compartmentalization, if these people had been smart enough to either use a fake account or a pseudo account with a made-up name, a made-up profile picture, they make their comments, they never would have been fired because no one would have been able to trace them to their real accounts. Now, before anybody takes my words out of context, I am in no way encouraging people to make fun of his death. I personally think that it is reprehensible, it is disgusting. But in the future, should you feel compelled to make your own comments on very sensitive matters like politics or war, abortion, topics like that, you're either better off not making those comments and keeping them to yourself, or if you feel compelled to actually share your opinion with the internet, use either a fake account or a pseudo account. Use a bogus username, a bogus profile picture, and make sure that none of the information on your account can be traced back to you. These people, and we're talking about doctors, teachers, nurses, pilots, even soldiers, these people were dumb enough to use their own personal accounts with their real name, making fun of Charlie Kirk's death, posting them online. What do you think was going to happen? They remind me of those very dumb criminals who basically record themselves committing the crime, and then they act all surprised when the police shows up on the doorstep. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you honestly think you could make such derogatory comments, remarks, and not expect any kind of backlash or consequence? So, I hope we've learned something here today. In the future, if you want to share your comments on very sensitive topics, please either use a fake account or a pseudo account. Now, in closing, I want to give you my own personal take on Charlie Kirk and what happened to him. I think it is very, very, very tragic. I watched a lot of Charlie Kirk's debates, and I do not believe that the man was a racist or a fascist or that he hated black people or anything like that. yes, certain kinds of comments that he made were crass. Okay, he could have been a bit more tactful with the way he said some things, but that doesn't make him a bad person, and it certainly doesn't mean that he deserved to be killed right in front of his wife and his 2 kids. I mean, it is sickening to see. And earlier today, a friend of mine shared a montage of so many people celebrating his death. I think it is absolutely sick. You have to be a very sick person if you think it is okay to celebrate his assassination. It is disgusting. You know, I used to think that evil people were, like the terrorists, the hardened criminals, actual real racists. I used to think those were the evil people. But you don't have to be any one of those things to be an actual evil person. You just have to be somebody who lacks any kind of empathy. And these are what these people are. These are evil people. And there have even been other people, I don't know, maybe you've seen it, there have been other people even calling for his wife and his kids to suffer the same fate that he did. How sick and evil can you possibly be? And the whole justification is that, well, Charlie Kirk's kids will grow up to be like him in the future, so we have to take them out. How sick can you be? You are filth. You are a very disgusting piece of filth if that's how you think. And I sincerely hope that if you're watching this video, you don't think like that. I did not agree with Charlie Kirk on everything that he said. I had my disagreements, but there are still a lot of things that I learned from him. And one final thing about Charlie Kirk. See, he died at the very tender age of 31. I am 39, so he would be like my kid brother. And yet, even though he died at 31, the man had accomplished so much in his life that most of us will not accomplish in 3-4 of our own lifetimes. He was already happily married with 2 kids, built a very successful and very influential business. He had met world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, and there are people out there who do believe that he had a very good chance of becoming president of the United States in the future, and I do believe that as well. Just at 31, he had accomplished so much. So you can love him, you can hate him, you can disagree with him, but you can never take away the fact that the man accomplished so much. And I do believe that he deserves some respect for that. So those are my thoughts on today's video. And of course, if you have any comments, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. What do you think about identity compartmentalization? Did you watch any one of Charlie Kirk's debates? Maybe you have an opposing opinion about him. Maybe you really don't like him. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear why you liked him or you didn't like him, or maybe why you're completely neutral. I'd love to hear from you. So that's it for today's video. Please stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.